Okay, now for something that is, well, not cathartic, but we are going to watch a Roach King nuke himself in a couple of ways. So, first things first, once I can get here, there we go. I just want to go ahead and ask y'all a question. Did you know that Asmongold was a fan of a particular YouTuber that we all know and love? Here.
Investment in the stock market, so the tariffs don't seem to be as much of a tangible evil to them because they don't get to observe the negative effects. So, big surprise that a bunch of old people that have capital are mad about their capital gains going down. Who could have ever guessed that? And also a lot of young people are moving away from this too, because they see this and they're like, well, this is my future and I don't want to sign it away to like some illegal immigrant. I don't want to sign it away to Israel. Like how many times have you guys seen the picture of like somebody saying, I'm not signing up for the draft to go fight for Israel? A lot of people think that. You know who's been popping off a lot on TikTok? Nick. You know the Nick I'm talking about. Everybody knows.
Hey guys, just saying, if we were talking about the Jews, and there was a Nick that we wanted to talk about specifically, which Nick would we be talking about? Which Nick would we be talking about? I mean, somebody in the chat already has it right. VRoho07, Fuentes, GigaChad, Nick W. Isn't it so strange? Isn't it so strange that giant popular streamers are now just shouting out Nick Fuentes, known actual anti-Semite, actual Nazi, Nicholas J. Fuentes? It's the only Nick I can think of, and is also mentioned in the actual clip that I would be uncomfortable saying the last name of. I don't know how to describe my feelings about one of the largest gaming YouTubers, known for World of Warcraft classic content and Path of Exile content, just openly being pro-Nazi. Like, actual pro-Nazi. And he can do the hiding thing going, oh, I didn't... No. I'm not saying I agree with Nick Fuentes. I'm not saying I support him. I'm just saying, you know who's popping off. You know the one. I'm sorry, but if you do not actively denounce your chat shouting out Nick Fuentes, then you're just shouting out Nick Fuentes. That's all you're doing. Gainer says, I love how this is the second time he's being normalized by a large channel. The first time being Nick's fuck date with Destiny. CW says, why? What are we whying? Zumi says, isn't Fuentes, like, completely irrelevant now? No, he's been getting bigger. Zumi, dear, that's the problem. Nick Fuentes managed to get bigger. He spent time with Trump and Kanye West. He's not been getting less relevant. He's been getting more relevant. My Congresswoman, Marjorie Taylor Greene, headlined a speech for him. He's getting more normalized to the right wing. He's getting more normalized to that side of America. And it's fucking crazy. Also, here's a clip from Asmon's channel that y'all were mentioning.
Obviously true. that on average, cisgender men and post-pubescent boys have some specific athletic performance advantages, though the relative size of that advantage also depends on the sport.
I love how the foundation for this is that you're right, but it's like, what is this?
For context, John Oliver released a video defending trans athletes, and in less than 24 hours, it quickly became one of the most disliked episodes of his show, now standing at 62k likes and 70k dislikes.
Basically, it is not the case.
Fucking AI voice. Also, who cares? That's just a popularity contest, and I thought we were all taught, like, in high school, how dumb popularity contests were. Anyway.
That any man is going to be stronger or more athletic than every woman, which is some...
You're right. It's only the case 99 times out of 100.
Is that in part...
Wait. Say that again?
Which is some...
You're right.
That any man is going to be stronger or more athletic than every woman, which is some...
You're right. It's only the case 99 times out of 100.
That is an interesting thing to say, guy who's built like a twig and can get bodied by every fucking girl I saw at the gym today. That's really fucking funny coming from the guy who literally could not lift his way out of a fucking barbell room. No, Asmon, it is not true that men are always stronger than women. That is just a dumb statement on its face. Men, as a diametrically opposed group of people, might be stronger on average, cis men to cis women, but the 99 times out of 100, men are always stronger. That's not fucking true. You couldn't even open a goddamn pickle jar, you fuckhead.
Is that in part because the number of trans athletes is so small. The body of research specifically about them is extremely limited. There are a bunch of studies comparing specific anatomical features like...
It's...
Okay, cool. So he pulls out studies. He pulls out studies, and then Asmon just makes this face. Oh no, my unclipped fingernails don't know how to read a study.
It's crazy how much they're going through. You want to talk about gymnastics? I feel like he should be the one going to the Olympics. This is...
How? He's just pointing out that studies don't agree with you. What?
Crazy. We need to have more stuff.
This is just anti-intellectualism. That's all this is. Like, if somebody shows you a set of studies and you just put your head in your hands and you just go, no, this is all mental gymnastics, you're just being an anti-intellectual dumbass. And I'm okay just calling you a dumbass. I am okay calling you a dumbass. Also, this person's called Meme8789. Shout out to this person saying the dumbest statement in their chat right now. The sky isn't always blue, guys. It's not even blue right now. It's dark outside where I live. It's not even fucking blue right now. And technically speaking, it's never actually blue.
Studies to further be certain about the fact that men generally have physical advantages over women.
But we were only able to find 12 studies that actually tested trans adult women's physical fitness in a lab or other performance scenario. 8 have a sample size of less than 20, and 2 are of a single athlete. And look...
And what do they say?
You probably shouldn't draw broad conclusions off a sample size.
Okay, then we know what they say.
It is undoubtedly true trans women will maintain advantages in some sports. Probably.
But
trans women will also have physiological disadvantages.
Do
we want to talk about the fact that, generally speaking, these studies show that trans women lose a majority of their strength advantages, where they are easily within the 6%. It's what was it, 6% of a cis woman, which is the same spread that we expect of cis athletes within themselves.
No research about how being trans or undergoing gender-affirming treatment impacts athletic performance in teens. And when it comes...
We have no research? Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. Just for some context.
Yeah, you know why we don't have research? Because it's hard to get a sample size of teens who have been on puberty blockers, because it's way easier to deny teens puberty blockers than it is to actually get a sample size of the data. We almost exclusively have to study adults. Asmon, I'm so sorry that Asmon, just come onto my show so I can call you a fucking dumbass. Not just because it would, be a good thing for me as the smaller content creator, but that's also a reason. But also, I feel like I could actually explain this to you in a way that even Roach Boy could understand.
Text. The majority of women's physical records in things like running a mile, women start losing to men when men are about 15. And these are the best athletes in the world versus the best male athletes in the world that are 15 years old. Here's the truth. This premise.
Right. So you also understand that those are cis men. You can't compare cis women to cis men here. Because once a trans person has gone on hormone therapy, which is unilaterally considered something that they need to go on in order to participate in sports at a professional level, what do the numbers show once they have gone on hormone therapy? Let's actually pull up one of these studies for a minute, just on muscular strength, because we can't do this as we can't be no-brained. The no-brain thing is to try to find a single study that does everything for us, and no single study does everything for us. This is why meta-analyses exist. One study showed that 14%, there was a 14% lower hand grip strength in hormone-naive trans women than in cisgender men. And then, over the course of 12 months, with gender-affirming HRT, a further 7% reduction happens. That's so weird. And then, over the course of 48 months, 24% lower hand grip strength is found. That's so weird. Isn't it so strange that hormone replacement therapy has a direct effect on the musculature of the people that undergo the therapy? That's so strange, Asmon. It's so weird how wrong you get to be on a thing when all you're willing to do is use common sense and generalizations. Generalizations are generally not true because they are generalizations. They don't get into specifics. That's how they work. And when you use, quote, common sense, everybody immediately nods their head and says, oh, that's good, but that's not good because common sense is not a thing. Also, Moo Girly, think about the follow. Common sense isn't a thing. Common sense is the acclimation or the accumulation of all of the biases that you have from the point you were born till this exact moment. This is why what's common sense for two individuals is never 100% correlative. Two individuals do not have the same sense of common sense. They never do. They will generally find things that they agree on, and they will call that thing common sense. But common sense as a concept isn't a thing in the human brain. It is just whatever biases you've got at that point. My common sense says trans women are women. I don't have to go through any mental gymnastics to make that happen. But your common sense apparently doesn't say that. Gator says, don't cis women athletes sometimes have to go on T blockers because their levels are too high to compete? In the Olympics, yes. In the Olympics, yes. Anyway.
And the fixation on this will cause them to lose elections to the extent that they continue to push it. It's a complete insult to the intelligence.
I don't like it when my gaming YouTubers talk about politics. I'm 100% certain somebody said that fucking shit.
Of anybody who's listening to it. Anybody who hears this is going to feel like, wow, they really think I'm an idiot, huh? And they would be right. Yeah, it's a losing issue. Not only is this a losing issue, but it is a losing issue to such a massive, tremendous degree.
Oh no, a popularity contest where I got review bombed by a bunch of anti-trans people. Oh no, that's definitely a stand-in for reality. Asmon, I'm gonna show you a thing. And I know you won't read any of it, because you're too used to getting your shit handed to you. You are in one of the most privileged positions of any streamer ever. You don't have to cook for yourself, you don't even have to clean for yourself, because you just don't do it in the first place, and when you played World of Warcraft Classic, you didn't have to get any of the gear for yourself either, because you had a bunch of sycophants who were willing to get all of that gear for you on stream. They would do anything to worship the ground at which you fucking stood on. So I know you're not gonna read any of this, because it's not in your character to do any kind of work. But If you wanted to, this is a group of trans research that has been compiled by my friend Vice Rhino. Evidence that being trans is real, a lot of studies that are right here, gender and its relation to sex, the fact that being trans isn't social contagion, sex being bimodal by spectrum, better outcomes with gender-affirming therapy, a lot of stuff on that. There's all kinds of information here. And there's even information here about trans athletes that you can read. The impact of gender-affirming hormone therapy on physical performance. Transgender women athletes and elite sport, a scientific review. Strength, power, and aerobic capacity of transgender athletes, a cross-sectional study. There's all kinds of stuff that you can read here, and I know that the math is hard, but if you're reading this on stream, there's probably somebody in your audience who's going to look at it and go, oh, cool, I actually can get behind that. Or, oh, I can help parse that data for you. Somebody in your audience, at least one of them, went to college or remembers how to actually read a goddamn study. There is no actionable thing here like there is in the majority of my videos right now. This is just me making fun of one person on the internet who is supremely stupid and basks in that stupidity. If you're the type of person who gets handed studies done by giant scientific organizations and your first response is not interest, it is dismissal, then I feel that I am allowed to call you an idiot on the internet and be accurate, backed up by data, and you provide the data. You provided it whole cloth. Insert end of video tagline here. Hey, thanks for making it to the end of the video. I really could not do any of this without all of you. Those of you watching, and especially those of you who support me on Patreon. I wanted to go ahead and take a minute to thank all of you who do that, because with YouTube being what it is these days, I really cannot do this full time without the support from each and every one of you. Those people would be Red Joker, Purple Poundini, Jemshin, Britzkrieg, Jupe the Malignant, Michael, Ravalern, Mabbity Babbity, Astral Frontier, Tales of Atonement, Nixie Chan, Kiri Artemis, Victorian Alchemist, I'm not saying the last part of that, and you know that. Leela Ururaka, Arcton Arclacier, Kiratorian, Dren Hadamata, Jordan M, John L, Lord Bleck, Smiling Game Master, and Fireshard. Thank you so very much. But since you're here, why not go ahead and try watching another one? There should be one that's on the screen right now. And if you are a patron of mine, I wanted to go ahead and thank you again for all of your support. There is still a video you could press though, if you'd like. I would appreciate it just a little bit.